Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. It is our free March practice. It is actually March 1st today as I record this, and it is beautiful out. I am ready for spring. I don't know about you, but I am looking forward to the warmer temps. I know we'll have a few more. This is like fake spring, so we'll have a few more little winter mixes in here, but hopefully we're on the upward trend. So I have a nice little flow today just to stretch everything out. It's good for all levels. You don't need a lot of equipment. If you would like to grab some blankets or towels, you can. Maybe a pillow, or if you have a yoga bolster, you can use that. Also maybe some blocks. And if you don't have any of those things, don't worry. You don't necessarily need them. I also have Mr. Fritz here, so he'll be joining me, and I'm sure Sam will show up at some point in time. Today we're going to start out in extended child's pose. If you have achy knees at all, you can grab a towel or a blanket to pad your mat a little bit further. Otherwise, you don't really need anything. You also do not need a dog on you. All right, so coming to all fours on your mat, take your knees to the outer edges of your mat. So just make your knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. If you're not holding back a dog, keep your hands on your mat, look forward. Nice tabletop position. Take a nice big inhale here, and then on the exhale, sink your hips back towards your heels until you're sitting on your heels. Walk your fingertips forward, and then melt your heart and chest to the mat. And then just take some nice deep breaths here. You can close down the eyes. You can rock your forehead side to side, gently massaging that third eye area. And if your head doesn't meet the mat, you can always grab a block or just something else to bring the ground up to you that you can rest your head on. Take nice big inhales and exhales here. Take one more big inhale here. Exhale, let it all go, and then slowly look forward. Fritz is back, of course. And then just rise back up into your tabletop position, knees under hip points, hands under shoulders, and we are going to work on stretching out our spine a little bit. So we're going to do one of my favorites, which is cat-cow. On the inhale, drop the lower ribs, lift the tail, lift the head and neck, look forward. And then on the exhale, round through the spine, drop the head, drop the tail, coming into cat. Inhale, you'll just reverse it, dropping those lower ribs, looking up once again, coming into cow. And then exhale, you'll just flip it around, coming in to cat. Go ahead and do a few more just on your own breath cycle. Sam is here, so if you're looking at the video, you can say hi. We'll take one more cat-cow here. And after your cat pose, go ahead and return to that neutral tabletop position again. We're going to continue to stretch out our backs a little bit. So go ahead and bring your right hand closer to the center of your mat. It doesn't have to be exact. Really make sure your foundation is strong here in your hips and knees and everything that's touching the floor. And on an inhale, we're going to take our left hand And we're going to imagine we're pulling back a bow, for like a bow and arrow. And you're just going to bring that left arm across your body, reach it up to the sky or the ceiling or wherever you're working today. Feel a nice big stretch to start. And then on the exhale, we're going to take our left hand, we're going to thread it underneath our right arm, and then come down onto our left ear. Now your right arm can bend here just to give yourself some stabilization. And then you'll just feel a nice big stretch in that shoulder, that left shoulder, and in the left side of your back body. So just hold here and breathe for a moment, or two, or three. One more big inhale here. On the exhale, you'll push yourself back up and come back to all fours, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we'll walk our left hand in towards the center. On the inhale, we're going to pull our right arm back and then extend it up to the sky. And then on the exhale, we're going to take our right arm under our left arm and then come down onto our right ear to come into this little thread the needle position. And then breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, go ahead and rise back up to your tabletop position. Now from here I have a really fancy yoga move for you. Go ahead and cross your ankles, and then we'll walk our hands back until we're in a comfortable seat. If that doesn't work for you, then find whatever way you'd like to get into a nice, just comfortable seat. Again, if your knees are cranky, you can sit on a blanket or a towel or a pillow to help right or even out your hips and your knees. Right, still working with the spine and stretching everything out. We're going to go into a little twist here. So find your comfortable seat. Does not have to look like mine. We're going to take our left hand and just place it on our right knee. And then we're going to take our left fingers, swim them around behind us. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. And then on the exhale, turn towards the right short edge of your mat. Inhale. Maybe sit up a little taller. Exhale, maybe twist a little bit more. Make sure that you're not pulling yourself over with this left hand. It's there just more for support. And then just breathe. Twisting is really good for our internal organs. It helps to twist all the toxins out. And it can also help with digestion. One more big inhale here. On the exhale, let it go. Let's return back to center. I have a little hair in my nose. Excuse me. Take a moment here to just take a few breaths, compare both sides, see how you feel. You might notice a little bit of a difference. One side may feel longer than the other. One side may feel shorter or more compressed, I guess. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So we'll take our right hand and we'll just place it on our left knee. Again, nice and gently. We're not going to use it to crank ourselves over. We're going to take our left hand, swim it around behind us. You can just put your fingertips on the floor. I know you can't really see mine. Mine are just tented up, kind of like little spider fingers. Inhale, sit up nice and tall and straight. Exhale, go ahead and turn towards the left short end of your mat. Inhale, maybe see if you can sit up a little bit straighter. Exhale, maybe you journey deeper into the twist. And then just make sure you're still breathing. Anytime I'm talking to the camera, there's always squeaking. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, if the mic is picking that up. One more big inhale here. Exhale, let's return it back to center. Give it a shake. All right, we're gonna move on to our shoulders now, just stretching them out a little bit. So we'll take our left arm, go ahead and bring it out right to the side. And then we're gonna cross it over our center line. You can use your right arm just to guide it. You can hold your shoulder. Don't use your right arm to pull the left arm over, only to go to where it's comfortable to you. Maybe if holding at the shoulder doesn't feel good, you can grab the wrist and just hold there. So just take whatever feels good to you. Breathe. We are going to do some planks today and some side planks. Not a lot, just a little bit, because we do want to turn on our core a little bit. But we need to kind of warm up our shoulders and stretch them out because those are important in that posture. One more big inhale here. And exhale, just let it go. We'll take a breath or two here. See again how you feel, compare. All right, now we're gonna go to the other side. So I'm gonna take my right arm just straight out at the shoulder, and I'll cross it over the midline. I'm gonna go ahead and grab behind the shoulder with my left hand. Again, you can grab onto the wrist. And we'll just sit here and breathe for a moment, feeling that nice big stretch in our shoulder and our upper back. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, let it go. You can shake it out if you'd like. We're gonna go back to all fours here. So we're kind of going here and there and everywhere. We're gonna make our way up to standing on the mat here in a minute. So go ahead and bring yourself back to your tabletop position. And then look down at your hands. If your hands are directly under your shoulders, which in tabletop they should be, we're gonna walk them just one handprint in front of where they are. So it's not gonna be directly underneath our shoulders. Press into the thumb, the pointer, and the middle finger. Really press into those fingers to take any tension out of your wrists. We'll curl our toes under. Inhale, just prepare. And then on the exhale, go ahead and push through the hands, push through your feet, lift your knees off the mat, begin to straighten your legs, and then shift your weight and your hips up and back. And we're now in our first downward facing dog class. For this one, if you'd like to walk your dog, you can. Walking your dog just means bending one knee and then straightening the other. You'll get a nice little calf stretch here. So you can do that for a few breaths, just stretching out those legs a little bit more. And then once you feel good with that, you can bring it to stillness. Just let your head hang. Really push down through the heels. And it's okay if your heels don't reach the mat. One more big inhale here. Exhale, shake it out. On your next inhale, look forward at your hands. We're going to make our way up to the top of the mat. So you can jump, you can step, you can take lots of little steps. I kind of like to do, this has been my favorite here for a minute, is I like to take one foot and cross it over in front of the other, and then just do the same with the other foot until I'm up to the top of the mat. So you can do that. or you can take just little steps up to the top or just big steps. And then we're going to be in this little forward fold position for a moment. Inhale, come up halfway. Keep a nice flat back. Keep a little bit of a bend in your knees as well. You don't want to lock them out. Exhale, let it go, and come into your forward fold. If your hands don't come to the mat, that's okay. If you have blocks or something similar to blocks nearby, you can use that to bring the ground up to you just by placing your hands on them. And there's different positions for the blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can just bend your knees as generously as you'd like to bring your hands to the mat, or even your fingertips. Or maybe you just keep your hands on your shins, or maybe your thighs. Wherever you're at, just let your head hang as much as it can. Breathe. You'll feel a nice big stretch in your hamstrings. If your knees are really bent, you'll feel it more in your lower back. One more big inhale here. And then exhale. Go ahead and slowly, I'm not very good at this. I like to go fast, so I'm going to try and go slow with you guys too. We're going to slowly roll up to standing. So I'm going to try and roll up as slowly as I can with you guys. Just one vertebrae at a time until you reach the top. Once you reach the top, you can fix your pants, fix your shirt, fix your hair, get any wiggles out, and then we're going to go into a mountain pose. So make sure you're really grounded through the feet, that you can feel the mat. Sometimes I like to just kind of massage the mat with my toes so I can really feel it grip underneath my feet to get that connection, that mind-body connection. I also like to loop my shoulders up, back, and down so that way I know I'm standing up nice and straight and tall. You don't have to tuck your pelvis, just let your natural curve just be there. Hands can be down by the sides, and then just look up and breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we're going to let it go. All right, so we already did a nice shoulder stretch when we were seated. We're going to do a standing shoulder stretch. So if this does not feel good in your body, or if you don't have anything around that you can use, then you can just go back to the original shoulder stretch. But otherwise, if you have a door frame or even just a wall, I'm going to use the wall today. Just go ahead and take your hand right, again, directly out from your arm. So I'm going to come here, and then just place your hand flat on the wall, and then you can walk forward and then just kind of turn away from that arm. And you're going to feel, I'm going to see if I can do it on the door. So basically I'm just doing this and feeling a nice big stretch and opening through my chest. And actually, as I do this, if you don't have anything available that you can use as a prop, instead of repeating that shoulder stretch that we did earlier, you can lace your hands behind you and then pull down. It's okay if your hands are squared if they don't come together, but that's going to kind of mimic the same action. So, find your spot. Breathe. It's kind of an intense stretch. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll let it go. Shake it out. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, so you'll just turn it around and then find your spot on the wall, or this actually works really well on a door frame. So if you have a door frame, which I guess I do, but I don't want to turn away from you guys to use it. But if you have a door frame, that actually works the best for me. So whatever you have. you can make it work. If you decided to do the chest opener with your hands behind your back, do the same thing, but flip whatever hand was on top. So it's going to be the one that feels funny. All right, so I'm going to get into position with you guys here. And we're going to breathe as we stretch out that armpit, chest, the shoulder, chest. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, let it go. Whew. All right, we should be all stretched out. We're going to keep on stretching out though. Make sure to have your blocks nearby if you need them. I'm going to grab mine here just so I have them. Going to move them. And we're going to take our feet out wide, away from our hips. So we're not going to be standing with our legs close together. So just widen your stance here. It doesn't have to be super wide. And you may, in this next posture, we're going to go into a wide-legged forward fold. You might have to adjust your stance. So go where you think it feels right in your body. And then if you need to adjust, that's perfectly fine. Sometimes we have to. I heard a good rule of thumb one time was to bring your hands out to the side and then try and match your ankles up with your wrists. But for me, it'd be like this, which is fine, but I don't feel super stable like that. If you are a beginner, the wider your stance, the easier it is. However, if you go too wide, then you can lose your balance. So go a little bit shorter than what you think. We're going to stand up nice and straight and tall first. Go ahead and bring your hands out to the sides of your hips and thighs. Inhale to prepare, and then exhale, we're going to hinge at the hips. Make sure you're not rounding your back. So we're hinging at the hips. And then stop when you're about halfway forward. Make sure you have a little bit of a bend in your knee. You're not locking them out. And pretend you're looking into like a pond. I'm going to turn to the side just so you can kind of see. So you're just going to keep a nice flat back, a little bit of a bend in the knee. I am hyper flexible, so it's hard for me not to keep that little bend in my knee. I tend to straighten them, so make sure you keep a little bend. And you're going to look into that pond. Now, if at any time you feel like you're going to round your back, come up. So we're here, we're halfway down. Take one breath here. And then on the exhale, go ahead and slide your hands all the way down your legs and bring your head down towards the mat. Now, if your hands touch, perfect. Put your hands down on the mat. Maybe just your fingertips touch, and that's fine. You can do little spider fingers. Or you can also, once again, use your blocks to bring the ground up to you. You can see I've had to widen my stance a little bit, so it's pretty easy in here. I'm just making sure my toes are kind of turned in a little bit. You can also use your blocks on different levels. So choose what's appropriate for you and what feels good in your body today. Now, if your hands are touching the floor, walk your hands back so that way they are in line with your arches. And then maybe, if you're here, you're able to bring your head, the top of your head down to the mat. I cannot, so I'm not going to go any further. But if you're able to, and if handstand is in your practice, you can move into that. Otherwise, we're just going to stay here and hang out, feeling this energy flow, kind of the opposite way of what we're used to. And just breathe. One more big inhale here. And then on the exhale, go ahead and bring your hands to your waist. And then use your core muscles, and we're going to slowly rise back up the way we came. Whew. And then you can heel toe your feet all the way in. And then we're gonna just go back into our mountain pose that we did a moment ago. Just stay here a moment, feel that flush of energy. Don't move around too much because you might be a little bit dizzy or lightheaded as we went from inverted back to upright. One more big inhale here. Exhale, let it go. I'm going to walk back to the top of my mat. That is all the standing work we're doing. I made it a little bit simpler today. We're going to make our way back down to the mat. So we're going to come up to the front edge of our mat. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Feel a nice stretch in your side body. And then on the exhale, we're going to float down. So a little bit of a bend in your knees, hinge at your hips, lower back down. So we're going into a normal forward fold, not a wide-legged one this time. Inhale, come up halfway, nice flat back. You can keep your hands on your shins. Exhale, let it go, and breathe. So we're getting ready to go into our plank, so just kind of prepare. You should be nice and warm now, really stretched out. And I will give you some alternatives as we do this, because I know plank is not appropriate for everyone. Fritz, you're going to have to move. You're going to have to move, Bubs. You can't be there. Thank you. All right. From here, place your hands on the mat. You can bend your knees as generously as you need to get them there. Sam, you have to move, please. Oh my goodness. Okay, come on. You have to move. All right, we'll step one foot back and then the other. And then really push back through the heels. Make sure you are in one straight line. Really press away from the mat. Make sure your hips aren't, falling down. Make sure they're not hitching up like in a down dog. So just nice straight line. Now you can always come to your knees and come into a half plank. So stay here for a moment and just breathe. We're not going to be here for long. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we're going to turn onto the right side of or the right edge of our right foot, the arch of our left, and then we're going to turn and come into a side plank. Now, you can bring your left foot in front of you and just have it bent at the knee as like a little kickstand. If you were practicing in like a half plank, you can bring that right leg down and just hold here. I like my left foot in front of my right foot. Some people like to stack their feet here. Breathe wherever you're at. One more big inhale here. And then on the exhale, let's place our left hand on the mat. We'll return back to our plank. If you need a little break, let's all actually take a little break. Go ahead and bring your knees down. Come back to sit on your knees if you're able to. Make fists and then just roll your fist around. That's going to help to roll out your wrists a little bit. We still have the other side. I'm sorry to tell you. So we'll do one more plank. We'll do the side plank. And then we'll pull it down. So you have those options, those modifications. If you're not quite up to that side plank yet, that is okay. Take those modifications. Work towards it. Okay. I'm going to fix my ponytail. And then we're going to go back in to our plank. So from all fours, if you're with me here, if you didn't stay in plank this whole time, if you did, then props to you. I did not. We'll stretch one leg out and then the other and then come back into our plank position or half plank. All right, from here, this time, It's going to be the outer edge of our left foot, the inner arch of our right. We'll come on to that left hand, and then you can reach your right arm up towards the sky. Make sure you have your hips lifted. And then again, some modifications are you can bring your left knee down to the mat, or you can bring your right leg in front further and kind of kickstand it. Or you can just keep that right leg in front of the left, or you could stack your feet. That gives me a lot less balance, so I kind of like that little kickstand there. Wherever you're at, keep breathing. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll return to center, and then go ahead and lower all the way onto the belly, letting everything go. Whew. So that should have built up some heat in your core. You're going to stretch that out, so make sure your hands are in line with your rib cage. Go ahead and untuck or uncurl your feet if they're not already. Uncurl your toes, I should say. And then on an inhale, you can look forward and just rise up into a little baby cobra. I'm tucking my left foot. I have a little cramp in it right now. Ow. If you'd like a little more, you can push through the hands and rise up into a larger cobra. But if you feel any stickiness, then lower down. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, just let it go. All right, from here, let's go ahead and push up to all fours. We're going to end the same way that we began in that extended child's pose. So bring your feet as wide as the mat once again. Big toes to touch. You'll sink your hips back. You can rest your forehead and then just breathe. If you would like a little bit more of a restorative child's pose, if you have a pillow or a bolster, you can place that down in front of you on your mat. And then you can just come and lay on it. So completely up to you and what you have around as far as props go. But take a moment to just rest in child's pose, and I'll guide you out of it here in a moment. The card I pulled for today's practice is Parrot Spirit, and its message is to watch your words. So it says, what are you saying to yourself? What message are you repeating? Is it something that makes you feel good about yourself and reminds you of your strengths and potential? Parrots mimic the sounds around them, and when Parrot Spirit appears, it is time to be more mindful of your self-talk and its qualities. What do you say to others? Are you repeating what you truly believe? Remembering to speak with light and love can become a habit. Be generous with compliments and thanks, affirming all that is good so that your loving, healing words will be heard throughout the jungle, cutting through the noise and inspiring others. Listen for the words that remind you of all the strength, abundance, and joy in your life and in the world around you, and then repeat them, affirming what is real, true, and nurturing to the soul. The universe will reflect back to you the story you tell. Words matter, so choose ones that lift you up and inspire others to remember that beauty surrounds us. If you would like to move into a Shavasana, you can. If you'd like to get going with your day, then you can just come back up to a comfortable seat. This is where we are going to end today's practice. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel nice and stretched out and ready for warmer weather in spring like I am. Getting rid of all those old toxins and just things that don't serve us anymore. We don't need them. We don't need to bring them into this new season. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If there's anything that you'd like to work on in future videos, you can put it in the comments. I see them and I can create something based on that. If a lot of people are liking or needing to work on the same sort of things. If you have not already, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel named, I can't talk, watching my words here, I guess. If you hit subscribe, then you'll get notified anytime I upload a new video. Currently, I am doing one free video a month, so this is my video for March. There won't be another one until April, but if you'd like more on Patreon, you get access to my entire library. And on that library, I do a video every single week. Around the same time, you'll get notified. And then also, you'll get the newest videos, but you have access to the entire library. I have been putting videos on there for now, I think almost 2 years. So it's a pretty big library. I've been doing one a week for almost 2 years. So you can find one to do every single day if you'd like. They're all different lengths. Some are slower, some are faster. So there's just that whole library there. If you're interested, that's on Patreon. If you're kind of on the fence on it, there is a 7-day free trial. So you can try it out and see if that's something that you'd like. Before you subscribe fully to the Patreon channel. Yeah, I think that's all the administrative stuff that I wanted to put out there. Again, if you know anyone that you think would like this channel or these practices, please share this with them. I do everything right now word of mouth, so I appreciate your help in getting the word out, especially if you enjoy it. Yeah, so thank you so much for spending your time and your energy and for sharing your practice with me and with everybody else that is practicing as well. I hope to see you next week on Patreon. Otherwise, I will see you next month for our free April practice. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, day, month, and I'll see you later. Namaste. Maybe.